Hi guys, we're back at it again with another episode of MITA Unshackled. I am your co-host, Destinee Blanco, with my lead host here for this episode.
Jennifer Miles, co-founder of Plant Body Soul. I'm very happy to be here with
John Feitelberg from Hub International, part of the group here in New England.
Beautiful.
And Jeremy Ortiz, also with Hub International out of Connecticut.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's a great event.
Thank you.
Tell us about Hub.
So Hub is an insurance brokerage, and we embraced the cannabis business a long time ago. We started in Canada and Colorado, and we noted that it was so popular and overwhelmingly people really embraced it. And what we found is it's a very complex business. It's heavily regulated. There's a lot of compliance, capital intensive. And so it was made to order for us. It's a complicated thing. And
Yes.
so we come in and try to explain insurance. I'm here with Jeremy and my son, Ben. And we really go in and talk to operators and kind of break it down for them. Say, like, this is what's not covered. These are things that we think you should worry about. You know, because very often we find the Cannabis Control Commission says you need product liability, you need workers' comp, you need auto liability. All of those things are required by state for every business.
Right.
We say you need cyber, you need harassment discrimination coverage, and how about property? How much stock do you have? Because that's where we see people have claims. Those three areas: harassment discrimination, cyber liability, property. So
Interesting.
if you sometimes follow the direction of where the commission wants to go, you have coverage, but it may not be all the coverage you need. And again, not everybody wants to buy it all either. So
Yeah.
we're realistic enough to know that you got to have people understand it so they can make a conscious decision and do it properly. And it's fun. It's a good, fun business to be in. So we've
Yeah,
enjoyed
you're like
it.
helping them with the direction.
Yeah, and really helping them understand it. And people's tolerance is like gone by the time we get to them because it's all the things they've done, right? I talked to someone right over here who spent 5 years trying to get approved by the town. The town's finally accepted him. There's buildings built. Now along comes insurance.
You're the last step. Yeah.
Yeah, which is outrageously expensive
Yeah.
and has all these exclusionary language. So
Right.
I don't want to dominate the conversation and let Jeremy participate, but we find it's something that gets very complicated for people and try to make them understand it and help them kind of see through it. So
It's important. Jeremy, do you have anything that you'd like to add
Yeah,
to
basically what our job is to do is just educate and have people understand what they're paying for. A lot of times you have conversations with people, look at their policies, they don't understand what they're paying for or what coverages they have in force. So highlighting that, educating them, it's more of a respect thing. And like John said, letting them know what's available, and it's ultimately their choice to choose which route they want to take. But
Yeah.
doing that educated.
So do you guys have like a team of lawyers behind you and for something
well,
like this?
we have people no, we don't necessarily have lawyers, and we have to draw the boundary of what we do. We're insurance people, so we understand the legal part of the insurance policy and explain it, but not as a legal representative. The thing that makes us special is we have really unique people and great people in a lot of areas. So whether it's employee benefits, someone's worried about their health and dental plans, whether it's a 401k, a lot of these businesses don't realize they can get a 401k plan, or it's the property liability. We have people, I like to say to them, we'll give you the answers to the test. Before the insurance company shows up, again, we're an agent, we're a broker.
Right.
We'll help you prepare the business. So when they come look around, they're like, wow, we love this. This is so great. But we'll come in and say, this is what they're going to look for. And by the way, take care of that because that's a mess.
Yeah, you
and
need
help
somebody
coach them.
in your corner like that.
That's
Yeah.
right. And people appreciate that because they realize it's going to make them a better risk. And that's what everybody wants. They want people to be safe.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm a creative marketing and branding agency. Like I mentioned, we're a tier 2 MRB and have recently gone through our own insurance
Process
journey.
renewal. Yeah,
I will
right.
just say,
Right.
we do a lot of consumption events, and so finding consumption insurance was definitely challenging, I would say, until we found the right group. But one of the things that most people didn't, or even us, really understand that consumption insurance was a thing.
Yep.
Are you doing that for people?
We are. And
Okay.
it's challenging because places like Massachusetts, it hasn't been approved yet.
Right.
So we see a lot of it here, but sometimes it's not really like caught up. So you need to have certain things in line. But the cool thing about Hub is we have direct relationships with all of these cannabis insurance companies and vendors, where a lot of other people are going to a wholesaler, to a third party to get to the market. We go direct to the market. And because we have so much business, we have very good leverage and relationships.
That's everything.
And again, I'm fourth generation of my family. My son's here, he's fifth. We understand the family aspect, and that's really important to people because they don't want a big corporate partner. They want someone who understands their business, that guides them through it and gives them choice, makes them smart about it. And that's what we think we can do. We can really position them that they're in a better position because their risk looks better, it's prepared better. And then the company comes out and grades them, so to speak. They're getting A's and B's, not C's and D's.
Yeah.
So you get C's and D's, guess what? Your premiums are higher, right? Versus someone who's like, wow, look at how great this shop looks, and that type of thing. So it helps. It really does. Yeah.
Are you guys so did you guys start in the cannabis industry, or is Hub also out of the cannabis industry?
So I started as a generalist and doing very much everything. I've been in the business for over 3 decades now.
Yeah, let's back up a little bit. Let's learn a little bit about you and how you guys got started here.
Well, and again, it's one of these things that we looked at everything for everybody. And then as businesses evolve, the more complex one needs special attention. So that's where people like Jeremy and Ben come in, where they're literally focused on that space. And a lot of the people that support them are focused on the cannabis space. So like these risk services people that I talked about that we come out, they've been to multiple cannabis facilities before. It's not like their first one. And that helps. That helps gain the edge. But again, we're like local people with global reach. That's how we describe it. You know, you can talk to us. We're here, but we have a lot of power in the marketplace. A lot of the insurance companies recognize we're one of the leaders, and they respect that. So we try to kind of break it down for people and help them. Yeah, and get you on the train. Like you can help understand that and ride that leverage that we have and that specialization, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. A lot of what's doing is like trying to be ahead of it. So like when masks were a big deal, that people were getting angry to have the mask, teaching people about de-escalation techniques, you know, and again, a lot of businesses that face that, it's a good idea to have people prepared because you don't know what to do. It gets very tense.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
The climate of COVID definitely shed a lot of light on intensity and in how to manage people, how to navigate.
Made you or broke you.
Yeah.
Right. No, exactly. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Some people went home and other people went to work, and that's what we did. We doubled down on it.
You either learned how to ride the wave or you drowned in it.
It's very true. Very true.
And how about yourself? How did you get started here in the industry?
Insurance. I've been doing insurance since 2009. Been consuming cannabis since I was 14, and I cultivate for personal use.
Really, I love
so
that.
I'm passionate about the plant, you know, and I enjoy coming to things like this because I could relate to the cultivators and just getting tips from different perspectives. And I do insurance, you know, so I think more people are receptive to that because we're working with a team of experts who have 9+ years of experience in the cannabis industry. So we have a good team.
How big is your company?
So the number of people are clients. I mean,
number of employees.
We have 15,000 employees, and there's about 800 in New England. So a lot of it's, again, family businesses that, like my own, that became part of Hub. And so we kind of have that idea that no one's as smart as all of us, and we all work together. But there are people that focus in specific spaces, and that's one of them that we work in. And again, we've collaborated, and we were coached to come out and meet people and, you know, share that sense of community that everybody has. Everybody's so passionate about their business. That's what we love, right? You love people that are really engaged at what they do and are passionate about it, not like, going through the motions.
It's easier to support a company too when you notice that, you know, that they're actually, they know what they're talking about and they're real about business.
Right.
And I think there's a certain level of passion in this community in particular that is so big and heartfelt. I mean, we're all here because we want to be here. We're passionate about the plant or how it helps people or to help people.
The power in the plant.
Power in the plant.
No, we find people with social equity licenses have said, you know, I had a problem in my past and everybody told me it's going to be a mark on my future that I would never progress because I had that. It turns out it's an opportunity.
Right.
And they take that opportunity and they seize it. And it's pretty cool. You know, it shows everybody that you have other opportunities in life and things that you can take a crack at. And that's what we find. A lot of people do that through the cannabis business where they're like, this is something I want to pursue. This is what I want to go after. And they do a great job. We've met people that have sold their homes and businesses. One person sold their house in the garage to get a cannabis license and got it. And now he's doing really well.
Good for him.
And, you know, he's passionate about it because he put it all on the line to get there.
I like that you brought that up because, you know, social equity, there's, you know, within the last two years, there's been a lot going on and happening. A lot of opportunities for them. I know in here in Massachusetts I just learned that delivery service to consumers is only available to social equity applicants.
That's correct. Absolutely. Right.
Things like that, you know, that's amazing.
Yep.
Is there anything that your company does directly, or any advice that you guys have for, people that are in the process of this in Massachusetts or
my best
globally?
advice is always talk to a lot of different people. Really do things like this. Come to events like this and walk around, meet people, talk to different agents, see what people have to say. Ask about their specialization and how focused they are in this area. Because again, it's a big process of learning. And again, the beautiful thing I found about the cannabis business is people are willing to share. So if they have someone that they feel that they're successful working with, they're glad to tell their friends and other people. And so I say to people, rely on those in the business.
We know that.
Right?
About the people you
Their
know.
relationships.
That's what it's all about.
Everything.
And this is a young industry. We're building this together.
Yeah.
We can't do it separately. So 10 years from now, we're having different conversations than we are today. Hopefully for the better. More opportunities. And two, it's creating a ton of opportunities. I'm working with people that have cannabis convictions for growing illegally. Now what they do, they know that process and how to grow. So now they're doing it legally, and turning something bad into something good, So you meet all different types of people, and that's why we do this. You'll see us walking around at all these events. We're here.
I know. Our people just pulled you from the streets here.
Yeah.
The boulevard is what we're calling it.
Right.
Walking and talking.
No, exactly. Hopefully the rain stays away today, right?
Yes.
How's the show going for you guys?
Excellent. We see a lot of friends, a couple of people we've walked in right away that are clients of ours and people we've done business with. And it's a great way to meet people. And again, folks like you, just to get out and see what's going on in the world and really like how the business is changing. Because it is changing. Like everybody knows, it's rapidly evolving like everything does. And in our business, it normalizes a little bit, right? Pricing was way, way high. Coverage is very restrictive.
Yep.
A lot of people that looked at directors and officers coverage years ago, that's that harassment, discrimination. They found it was very price prohibitive. Now the pricing's come down, but as of late, a couple of companies have pulled out of the market. The pricing's starting to shift up.
Interesting.
So think of real estate, like it's up and down, it ebbs and flows. That's what happens in the marketplace. So if you stay one place, sometimes you get timed out of it, and that's the other advice I give to people is look around and talk to different people.
Yeah. I've noticed our policy has gone, like the cost of our policy is actually leveled out a little bit. First, when we first entered into the market and we were first doing these, consumption events, it was really high. And then I also have a cannabis yoga events company. So then you add any sort of physical activity in with the cannabis layer.
Right.
And that was like, okay, we're just doing meditation. We're just sitting there. We're not moving.
But what about the equipment?
Well, the thing I would coach you though is read the policy. The biggest thing we can tell you is the policy has forms and endorsements. And so forms and endorsements do one of two things. It either adds something to your policy or it takes something away. So you'll see it's like a table of contents. It says forms and endorsements and it lists them, right? So read them like a table of contents. If you see the word exclusion, it's taking something away.
Okay.
So I always coach people, go through the policy with a highlighter and exclude, and then go back to someone and say, okay, what are these exclusions about? Help me understand. And can I get coverage for them? Now, some of them you might not care about.
Okay.
Others you might find, hey, that's really important to me. That's part of what I'm doing.
Okay. Good advice.
Yeah. So
all it is it's taking a proactive approach instead of the reactive. Waiting for something to happen and then finding out it's not covered.
Yeah.
Right.
That COA, cover your ass.
Yeah, that's it. The reality is you have so much financial exposure. It's like, why not spend the time? And people don't do it because they say, I don't really know it. I'm intimidated by it. I'm uncomfortable with the subject. Well, guess what? Find someone you can talk to. Right? Talk to a few people and say, all right, I like these people. I can understand them. Let's talk to them.
Just call John.
Yeah, thank you.
Or Jeremy.
We work together.
Call Hub.
We're a team.
Call Hub. We are definitely a team, and we have a great team of people that work with us. So
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Yeah,
how can people reach out to you guys? You guys on LinkedIn?
So I'm in LinkedIn, John Feitelberg. I also have a son who's got a name by that name, and he's very popular in the podcast. But I'm at 508-965-1274 is my phone number, and that's a great way to reach us. So
the digits
LinkedIn,
out there.
Jeremy Ortiz, 203-206-5826.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank
It was
you.
Great
Thank
to
you
see
guys.
Yeah, appreciate
Nice
it.
to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
Pleasure.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I need one of those shirts.
That's
one
her
of these?
Plant Body Soul. Shout out
Okay.
Plant Body Soul,
Yeah.
PBS.
We're gonna start selling these. We haven't sold them yet, but they're so popular. I think that we'll definitely. I'll get you one.
We the people.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you guys for
All right.
tuning in, and that was another episode of MITA Unshackled.
Thank you.